This channel's content is strictly for educational and informational purpose and does not endorse or promote any form of violence, harm, illegal activities, self-injuries and communal disharmony.
এই মুহূর্তে আমাদের সঙ্গে সরাসরি রয়েছেন রাজ্যপাল হিজ এক্সেলেন্সি সিভি আনন্দ বোস। স্যার, Moupia welcoming you from Z24 Ghanta studio. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Sir, so since morning you were in the peace room and you were monitoring the poll scenario. So how would you describe the first phase polling at the end of the day?
May I make it very clear at the outset? The peace room does not deal with the election process at all. The peace room is a forum where the public can interact with the governor directly. Some of the issues raised today happens to be on election. Therefore, from the peace room, we forwarded to the election commission, which is the appropriate authority to take decision in the matter.
So tell me one thing, there is election commission to conduct the election, but still you are saying that you have got some inputs or some grievances, some calls from different areas regarding polling. So what do you think? What's the reason? Do you think that these people are not depending on the election commission that much? That's why they're resorting the peace room?
I'm not here for any value judgments on any constitutional authority. Peace room is something which is there for the last more than 1 year in this Raj Bhavan. There are similar apparatus or mechanisms in all Raj Bhavans for grievance redressal of the public. We have given a new nomenclature peace room. Today being election day happens to receive more complaints or grievances on election. Otherwise, every day the governor receives petitions of different nature from the public. That is the duty of the peace room. We are a kind of, I would say, a rainbow bridge between the governor and the public.
Sir, can you please share with us some of the inputs that you got? I mean, what was the nature of the complaints that you received today?
Today, as usual, we received a number of complaints, many of which are personal complaints by the petitioners, but some of them had a relevance on the election. The type of complaints which we received regarding election are: number one, there are allegations about false voting and also about intimidation of certain voters from going to the booth. There are also complaints that electronic voting machines were not working in certain places. Some complaints said that the police did not cooperate when people went there with the complaints. These were just the complaints that we received here. We send it to the election commission for appropriate necessary action.
How did the election commission office respond? Did you get to see a prompt reaction to
Our
it?
feedback is that the election commission has been, we trust the election commission would have taken the right action, because in some cases we got the feedback from the complainants themselves that action has been taken.
Sir, when you were sitting in the peace room, the ruling party of Bengal, they were questioning about your motive, if there is some quote-unquote hidden agenda or something like that. So how would you react? How do you respond to that?
I do not have a hidden agenda, but I have an open agenda that is a function as a useful and effective governor within the framework of the Constitution to be accessible to the people. That is what I am doing. There is no political implication for this, but in a democracy, political parties are free to give their reactions, even if it is not very cordial to the governor. I welcome that.
Sir, so you have witnessed the panchayat election also in this state in last July. So if we want to know your view about that, I mean, if you compare the first phase polling with the panchayat vote, How would you define?
What happened during the Panchayat elections is part of history now. I was in the field, in the villages. I will go to many places where violence took place, and also to those places where violence were likely to take place. In my assessment, there has been a growing consciousness among the public of Bengal that elections should not be fought through bullets but through ballots. There is a strong consensus among the public against violence in election. That is reflected in this election as well.
Sir, tell me one thing, much before the election was even announced, the large number of central forces, in fact, largest among all the states, that have been deployed in Bengal. So, how would you describe the role of the central forces? What did you see in the first phase of polling? Are you satisfied?
Deployment of central forces has been done by the government of India. I am no one to comment on that. I can only say that the presence of the central forces has helped in improving the law and order situation during election.
Sir, you wanted to go to North Bengal, in fact, where these constituencies that are that had undergone voting today. So finally, you could not make it. So do you feel a bit disappointed?
I would like to make a small amendment in your statement. It's not that I could not make it, I did not make it. I did not make it out of volition. No one can restrain the freedom of movement of a governor. That is the basis. But I, as governor, does not want to be a pawn in the political chessboard. I do not want to be a part of a political controversy. Therefore, I decided to accept the advisory. It was not a command, it was not an order. It was an advisory. I decided to accept it because I did not want to be the focus of any political controversy in the state. That was what prompted me, but I was not sitting idle. My purpose in going to the field was to meet the people. I came and sat in the peace room. Hundreds and hundreds of people called me. I could talk to them directly, understand their feelings, and also take timely action. So I don't think there is any change in going or not going. I was doing my duty fearlessly throughout.
Sir, in the rest of the elections, I mean, in the next 6 phases, what would be your role? You will be in the peace room in next 6 phases as well, or you would like to visit the field?
It will be my subjective satisfaction as governor to function within the framework of the constitution. If I want to go to the field, I will go. If I want to sit in the peace room, I will do that. Whatever is appropriate at that point of time, whatever is good to the people of Bengal, I will do.
So thank you so much for joining us. His Excellency CV Ananda Bose আমাদের সঙ্গে তখন সরাসরি ছিলেন এবং তার আজকে সারা দিনের যে অ্যাক্টিভিটি এবং অভিজ্ঞতা সেটা আমাদের সঙ্গে তিনি শেয়ার করে নিলেন।
বাংলার আওয়াজ, বাঙালির আবেগ, জি 24 ঘন্টা।